Hey guys, thought I'd give a quick reaction piece to the Springbok squad name for Australia. It's just come out now. I've just seen it about 5 minutes ago, so these are my very first thoughts. Excuse me if there's a bit of noise in the background. Somebody's doing some DIY, it looks like. So hopefully it's not too bothering you guys. Okay, so where do we start? Kane Moody included, Bongi Mbonambi out, no Evan Roos, and a couple other guys out as well. So I think the first thing which is clear is that the Boks are going to give some of the extra squad members a chance on the tour. So we're going to see a couple of changes, and that might be one of the reasons why Joseph Dweba was thrown into the mix in against the All Blacks. The first thing interesting is that without Bongi, there's only two hookers named in the squad. Malcolm Marx and Joseph Dweba. The third hooker would be Dion Fourie, who has played there in the past and is actually more a hooker than a loose forward, but sort of transformed the other way. While Malcolm Marx was a loose forward that transformed into hooker, Dion Fourie sort of gone the other way and become a loose forward and became a Springbok at the age of 35 as a loose forward. So he'll provide cover. I don't think that's a bad thing at all. I think the Boks need to test their depth a bit on this tour. And obviously, because Bongi's injury is a bit worse than we thought, is now he's out for 4 weeks. They're not going to take a precaution there. I'm going to do another video on Joseph Dweba's situation, what happened on the weekend. I think it deserves to be talked about a little bit. So please look out for that. But I think he will get another chance. I think he deserves another chance to sort of prove himself as well. So I think that's not a bad thing. And I think we'll probably see Malcolm Marx starting the tests. The Boks have got a bit of work to do there. So we will be seeing a bit more of Joseph Dweba on the field there, and I think Dion Fourie is not a bad option there. I think also the Boks are testing out maybe a couple of theories ahead of the World Cup, looking at a couple of different options. But interesting thing, the big thing to me, I suppose, is the omission of Evan Roos, the URC Players Player of the Year, the breakout player in the Springbok squad. From the URC, and the player that really impressed everybody. And I suppose, in a way, there's only place for so many players in the squad, but he's the guy who's missed out. And that's going to take a lot of people's attention, the fact that he's missed out. I think the thing is the Boks have shown they want Dwayne Vermeulen as their first choice. Even though he didn't look like he was match fit on the weekend. I think they've shown that Jasper Wiese is the guy who's second. And, it's a bit unfortunate for Evan Roos because you sort of feel what more does he have to do to get into the squad, and to get a starting lineup. He had one run against Wales, which he really wasn't bad. I think most of us expected us, and I'm just going to change the angle here, guys. Sorry, the sun's coming, but yeah, there we are. All these complications in making a video. But anyway, I think most of us expected Evan to get a run on this Australian tour. We thought this might be where he gets a bit more time. He's obviously been seen as somebody, for the rest of us, who should be going to the World Cup, perhaps. But I think, when you start talking about that, you must realise the Boks can only take 5 of these forwards to the World Cup, and that's really where the toughest task for him is to get, in. So I suppose the thing to him then is just to continue playing and continue being part of the Boks squad and continue knocking down that door. Although I think there'll be a lot of people who are quite upset that he's not in there. I think also, it makes it also difficult to without knowing what the Boks are thinking as to their reasons why he's not there. So I think hopefully we'll hear a bit more about that in the coming days and just what the reasons are why he was not included. But certainly that was the one surprise for me in the squad. I think other than that, just thinking back to the rest of the squad, guys who haven't made it, not surprisingly, there's a lot of competition in the front row. So Tuku Mchunu and Thomas du Toit both don't make it there. Trying to think who else. Marvin Ori and Rowan Nokia at lock don't make it. Grant Williams doesn't make it at scrum half. Reinhard Elstad's not there. And yes, well, that's more or less it. And I mean, if you think Curtly Orange is suspended, Cheslin Colby's injured. On the right wing, Jesse Kriel looks like he's fine. He's going with. And inclusions, Kobus Reinach is fit again, although we're probably only expecting him to be in contention for the second test. Faf de Klerk is also ready again, so he'll be fine to play in those tests as well. I expect him to start as well in those tests. Just turning back to Kane Moody, I think he's been really one of the standout players from the URC, and he's really taken his chance this year. Has been backed by Jake White. With the injuries, and not surprising he's going with, and with the injuries, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see him in one of the two tests. I think they might still go for the first test for one of the more conservative options, perhaps Jesse Creel there or Warwick Gelant. But I think we could probably see him in one of those tests, and I wouldn't be surprised that he is a guy for the future. I don't think for next year's World Cup necessarily, but there's enough wing talent around. But I think for going further, you'll probably see him a bit more in the Springbok frame. So then, with the squad, what are the Boks chances in Australia? Well, it's very difficult to say. I mean, Australia is a terrible place for the Boks at the moment to tour because they haven't won there since 2013. They struggle in Australia. They dominate games, but conspire to find ways of losing games, which is always bizarre at times. Where they really, they really dominate up front and just find ways of losing games there. So Australia's not in a good spot around the moment. Dave Rennie, I think, has got a 30% win record. They had a big hiding against Argentina this weekend. So the Boks have got to see they've got a chance. But now, after the losing at Ellis Park, they probably have to win at least one of those two games if they want to have a chance of getting the Rugby Championship. So, it's going to be a tough tour. It's going to be an interesting tour. I hope to see a lot more players on the fringes getting some starting roles. I think we all want to see that. There is a plan. I know the Boks ask us all to trust them in the plan, and I think they have a plan. So it'll be interesting to see and hear a bit more about what their plans are for that Australian tour. But at the moment, it looks like there will be a number of players backed in that. I think we'll probably see pretty much like in some of the games, Wales, somebody like Elric Lowe maybe come onto the bench. I think we might see one of the other scrum offs, Kobus Reinach should return, I think, in the second test. First test would probably be back to Jaden and Faf. I don't see too many changes on the outside. Andre Esthuizen might get a run somewhere along the line. And Warwick Gelant might pop up on the wing as well. Up front, there's not too many options out there. Other than Joseph Dweba, if you look at the loose forwards, I'd be very surprised if they go for anyone else than maybe Elric on the bench or giving him maybe a start somewhere along the line. But Evan Riss's mission is sort of doesn't leave them many options. Most of the guys have been there for quite a long time. That's the squad. Now they've got to go back it up. And I think there's a lot of us who are anticipating some good games in Australia and hoping for the best for the Springboks. I think, despite the loss, and I know there's a lot of disappointment about the loss, there still is a very good Springbok team. They're building to something. They've obviously got a plan. I think at times they need to take the public into their confidence a little bit more about their plan. But I know sometimes that's tactical and it's difficult. So anyway, so those are my thoughts on my reaction to the Springbok team. Let me know what you think. Did you think Evan Riss was the big surprise omission there? What did you think of of putting Dion Fourie as the backup hooker? It'd be interesting to know your thoughts. And every week I do a Q&A. So if there's questions, leave them below. If I see them, I'll do my best to answer. And let me know your comments. It's going to be a very interesting tour of Australia, and I think we're all looking forward to it. Again, thanks for watching, and chat to you soon.